So let's actually go ahead and kick things off here. So this is the presentation I'm going to be talking about today. But before I introduce Brodie, we'll go through a couple of the other slides that we have just as the intro. So Brodie, I'll get you to move to the next slide for me. So this is some of the services that Bruce Wilson and Company provide. We do the fractional CFO, fractional CEO, scaling up, EOS, marketing, sales, peer groups. So these are all the different services that we provide. But the reason why we do these webinars is really just to give back to our clients or friends in the industry. Again, always trying to sharpen us all, improve the education within our industry. So we usually do our monthly webinar. So we're excited today to be joined by Weathermatic. Brodie, I'll get you to move to the next one. This is our thought leader retreat. This is our third year. We're doing the retreat. We have record attendance this year. Again, Weathermatic is one of our key sponsors there. We have ton of sponsors. We have some amazing speakers. I can't believe some of the speakers we have this year. So great speakers. There's still time to sign up. We've got a couple of weeks away, but I'd love to see you down in Miami, and reach out to Joe Kajawa, myself, or even Brodie, and we can give you more details on how to sign up. Brodie, the next slide. So this is Brodie Bruner. Brodie is a dedicated 20-year career, exclusive with his passion for water, developing award-winning irrigation sustainability programs for many Fortune 500 companies. He focused his time on bringing mobile technology, process improvements to green industry leaders so they can achieve profit growth, which is what we're going to be talking about today, and also scaling in the irrigation divisions. He's a board member, a trip leader for water charities like Weathermatic Foundation and Paper for Water that provide clean water to thirsty people in the developing world. And most importantly, Brodie lives just outside of Dallas, married, 3 wonderful children who share his passion for providing clean water to thirsty, with 6 water wells sponsored and counting in conjunction with the local school. So Brodie, welcome to the presentation today. Thanks for hosting.
Excellent. Hey, thank you for having me, Robert, and appreciate everyone's time. We'll make it impactful. As you may have seen on the introduction video, we want to help make water make money, and that's something that's good for everyone. It's good for your customers, good for the business and the world at large. So it will be a good investment of your time. My goal today is that there'll be hopefully one, but maybe more elements of our discussion that you'll be able to take and apply within your businesses. And so that's really my objective here today as we focus on making water make money. There was a quote that I came across the other day that I thought summed it up well when we think about water and irrigation in landscape. The quote is on the screen. Sometimes what you're looking for is right under your nose and you don't even know it. So I talk to landscape companies every day, and a lot of them are saying, I'm looking for the next big thing. What is it that's going to take our profits to the next level? And I'm here to suggest, as we talk about making water make money, that irrigation is that opportunity that is right there. It's something you already do. Some of you are forced to do it, right? And it's right there under your nose. And so let's take this opportunity to refocus, to double down on water and irrigation to make a huge impact. And as we do that, we'll kind of frame water as a second enhancement division. We'll talk about some of the challenges there around labor and what those solutions are. And then we'll look at growing and scaling your irrigation team, and doing that, frankly, without hiring people, because there's a way you can scale without hiring, and that's the best way. And then we'll look at integrating mobile technology that will also drive growth and profit. Technology integration is a key to success for you and our partners. So let's start out and just ask the question, assuming that you're a landscape maintenance business, why is irrigation important? Why is it an important part of what you do? And one answer to that, we looked at a company that was really treating irrigation as a necessary evil. And they were doing about 15,000 a month in revenue, pretty poor gross profits. They were using about 8 technicians to produce that. And we said, you know what? Irrigation should be more than a necessary evil. It should be a strategic advantage that represents 20% of your overall maintenance revenue. And so that's the goal. That was the vision that we set out together. And we were able to achieve that with this exact company. We tripled their revenue, almost tripled their gross profit, and we did it with 2 fewer people than they were dedicating before. So that's a before and after. That's an extreme makeover. And that's what I want you to think of as we talk today about how can that kind of change, of transition and growth and profitability, how can that happen within your business? And really to frame that conversation of how do we achieve that level of success, I want to start with what I think our industry has had in terms of kind of an old world problem, which is when we think about growth and scale, we just think about hiring more people. That's how we judge ourselves. We've all seen the hero pictures of landscape companies with all their people and all of their trucks, right? And so that's kind of where we start. And no question, we're in the labor management business, and people are at the core of what we do. But a lot of times that's kind of where it ends. We try to shape those people in a process that is scalable and efficient. Maybe we use some technology, but a lot of times we don't even get that far. And so this is really where I want you to stop and think for a moment. Is this the way that you're running your business, that it's all on the backs of your number one challenge, which is labor and some process, but not a lot of technology? And so think about that. Think about that in context of what you do, of your operations. But now think about a different way, and specifically in the irrigation part of your business, because we know that irrigation techs are probably the most difficult hire in the landscape green industry, right? It's not something that people are born with. It's a skill that's developed over time. And so let's think about, how do we go from this kind of foundational way of doing business to flipping that from people, process, technology, to actually starting with the technology. Think about your irrigation division, getting a platform of technology that acts as your operating system, and good technology then will drive your process to be efficient and scalable and profitable. And with the right technology and process in place, then you can determine, how many people do I need? What type of people do I need in terms of skill and experience set? So that's a fundamental change in how I want you to really view the opportunity of making water, making money, is get your tech stack right, build on a solid foundation of technology that drives process. And that's what's going to really free up your people to generate the profit and revenue and make water, make money at a level that hasn't been possible before. Now, I don't come to you today and just say, hey, here's some ideas, good luck with it. I'm a strong advocate of partnership. So much of what we've done in the realm of technology and any of our successes, most of the time we can point to a partnership. So I want to encourage you to partner, whether it's with our company, Weathermatic, or other companies in the industry or peer groups, whatever you're doing. Remember that partnership is going to be a key to success. And when we talk about making water make money, it is no exception. You need to have partners. When we developed our partner program, we didn't come to it and think, oh, we're the smartest people, we have all the good ideas. We actually have about 200 companies that we have partnered with that said, we're successful and profitable in our own right. These are top 100, top 150 companies. And we looked at them and said, hey, but how can we help you in irrigation? They said, you know what, this is an area where we need to get under the hood. It's kind of been neglected as a division. So let's step it up and take it to the next level and really make water make money in the right way. So as we embarked on doing this with many leading companies and answering that make water make money question, we wanted to start out and say, what are the challenges and limitations about the current state of affairs? And if you look at the top left of my screen, one of our new partners, I thought, wow, you have a really nice museum going there. And they said, well, that's actually not a museum. That is our training wall for new employees and new techs. And that technology, the timers are offline, they're out of warranty. We have to put people in trucks to drive around and burn gas. So expensive people burning expensive gas, all to do these things. And I'll let you review those there for a moment and think about your business. So color, weather events, seasonal adjustments, 12 hours a year for every controller, just doing those simple items. So how can we transition from that to where we standardize on a technology, no cost down, Spark controller included, and really have an irrigation operating system? Think about that for just a moment. What a great transition that can actually be. And in fact, this is the shift. I want to just pause for a moment, and let you read this slide, because this shift is the key to making water making money. So we're not selling electronics. We're presenting an investment that gives us the opportunity to deliver the services. When you're able to have that level of integration, now you can include it in your proposals, your renewals, and really change the whole function. Think about how you do work today: inspections, controller adjustments, repairs. Think about today and what it could be. Look at that comparison there for a moment. Notice why we have the challenge. Everything today is on the senior irrigator, where if we will actually use the technology and use junior irrigators, now we freed up our senior irrigators to make us more money. By saving 6 trips a year, that saves us a good chunk of change. We're going to repurpose that to get new accounts, to dig deeper into our existing accounts. And even with the cost of the technology, you come out with a net gain where you should be gaining 4 to 8 times that amount. So choosing the right platform is certainly fundamental and key. When you do that, you're able to do things like inspections. And instead of pen and paper where it lands on someone's desk and they are unfortunately having to enter that into a computer and eventually an invoice, what if we were to automate that? That would be a game changer. And that is a key to making water make money, is being able to really automate things like your inspections. Maybe you start in a software like the Weathermatic, you export that to a software like Aspire, our boss, and then you have, after that, a completed inspection and proposal, plus you're able to have insights within our software. And here's some examples of that. Study that for a moment. So here you're actually tracking your inspections as they're getting done. It's a fundamental to success. Then you're able to even track the sales funnel. Study that there on the right about how inspections are leading to actual success of approved proposals. This is all tracked inside of our software. So here you are, you've gone from an inspection to a proposal. Now you're even tracking the success of what you've done. So this is radically different than just pen and paper notes and taking weeks to send out an invoice. This is a fundamental to making water make money, is when you can really have a defined process that you're actively tracking and creating success. A lot of irrigation challenges have been really based around the reactive nature, just fighting fires. But to really make water make money, you've got to get in the water management business where you automate controller adjustments. You do inspections proposals like I just described, where they're integrated with your operating system. When you do that, you free up the time to be proactive and be able to do enhancements and scheduled maintenance. So really repurpose your saved time to growing revenue. Think about that for a moment. We all know about broken heads, pipes, and wires. But what if you were able to not just do that with your irrigation division, but to do the items that are on the right there? I'm going to let you study those for a second and think about how that would help you if you were doing that as a scheduled maintenance and enhancement. Just to give you an example here, think about spray nozzles, thin pieces of plastic. Those wear out after about 5 years. Think about seals, diaphragms. We shouldn't pretend they're going to last forever. What our partners are doing is they are going to their customers and doing a life cycle analysis of their irrigation equipment. And as they do that, they're able to allow their customer to budget for that upgrade. This is no different than if you have a car or truck, you change the oil every 5,000 to 7,000 miles, or a 30, 60, 90,000 mile tune-up, because that's actually less expensive than a catastrophic repair. And in our case, less expensive than a huge loss of landscape or persistent loss of water. So the point here is that we as an industry, you as a landscape maintenance professional, as a water management company, can deliver greater value to your customer that will be profitable and make money if you can free up your time that's otherwise been spent fighting fires. And that's really the key here, is automate everything that you can and then repurpose the time to add value to your clients. And that's where you're going to win at the end of the day. And so really just fundamentally want you to think about those 5 elements. Most companies are stuck at level 1, but I want you to look at the controller adjustments, the inspections, the proposals, and then repurposing your time to get into that proactive side. And maybe an action item for you here today is that every one of your clients has a water management plan. For many of our partners, those that are a multi-year plan. And when you have that, you're ultimately going to be able to add better value and make more money for your clients at the same time. So think about that. How do you go from one to the other? So what we've talked about thus far is a vision from going from the old museum of offline controllers to online controllers that actually drive process like inspections and proposals and tracking and get you into the water management business. Those are all truly fundamentals to what we're able to do. But in doing that, you don't want to just say, well, we're going to go do some good things. You also want to fundamentally look at, well, what will be better about our business and what can we track? And so let's look at some of those and really think about a plan to implement the technology so that you truly do make more money. One is annual repair revenue versus maintenance. I mentioned that a good benchmark there should be 20%. So you want 20% of your maintenance revenue to come from water and irrigation. We have some partners that have exceeded 30%. Most of the industry is single digits and some companies are negative. So that is a huge opportunity. So set that as kind of an overarching metrics that I hope that you're measuring, and certainly start if you don't presently. The next one is what is the annual irrigation repair revenue per tech? That varies based on seasonality. You can see the numbers that I have there on the screen. 144 to 200 is very, very achievable and certainly profitable. Gross profit is target there should be about 60%. with inflation, cost of labor, cost of materials. Some of you have not updated that. Definitely want to do that to get to that time. Obviously, you want all of your text time to be billable as well. So look at these different KPIs for a moment and think about, are you measuring these irrigation KPIs? So those are just a few of the fundamentals that you want to look at and be knowing that you are using your time well, that you're not leaking time, because time is money. And when you appropriately will measure these KPIs, you'll see your irrigation division grow, because you'll know where the leaks are, and at that point you can fix them. And what we have found is the companies that are truly focused on their KPIs, on their key metrics for irrigation, are seeing tremendous improvement, and they are making water make money. Some examples that you see there: repair revenue, and can literally, we had a company that was in the Pacific Northwest that had over 300% improvement in their repair revenue when they started tracking it and when they started integrating the technologies we talked about here today. There's some other fundamentals that you can look at and certainly track. But the old adage, you manage what you measure. Start measuring your irrigation KPIs. We have a number of fundamentals of those that we're happy to share with you, and certainly benchmark those against your peers, because when you know kind of where you sit, it takes all the wondering out, and you know where to put your focus and time to be able to improve and ultimately achieve the success that is in fact attainable within your irrigation division. Because as I said at the onset, when you're successful at irrigation, it will be like a second enhancement division. And the great thing is you're doing it without hiring additional people, and you're doing it without having to add customers. You're going to do it with your existing customers. Now, done right, you'll be able to pick up new customers, because water management is going to be a key component of why you are different than every other company with a lawnmower out there, is because you do water at a much higher level.
Hey,
So,
Brodie.
yes, please.
We have a quick question here. So
Yes,
just
please.
before we move on, so Joe I believe Joe is out of Arizona. He's asking about that. Does that 20% hold true nationally, or does it vary per climate or per region? I know Joe's, as I say, based out of Arizona. So do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we've seen it hold true nationally. Now, given the actual dollars amounts are going to vary, because some seasons are longer than other seasons. But what we have found is that regardless of the length of your season, that percentage, the 20%, again, I have some companies that are achieving 30%, that percentage should be able to hold true as long as your clients have irrigation systems. Now, if you said that my clients do not have irrigation systems, then that's going to reduce your opportunity. But if predominantly your customers have irrigation systems, then that 20% should be attainable. Again, the industry average when we first encounter companies is single digits. I would say the common answer that I get is somewhere between 2 to 5%, when some companies are honest and say, you know, we probably are losing money in irrigation, but we just kind of have to do it. And so to go from negative or low single digits to double digits, and then to 20% and 30%, I've seen companies do it. It's attainable in every market. I will note that percentage is based on landscape maintenance revenue. So for any of you in the north, I'm not incorporating snow into those percentages. So keep that in mind. But yes is the answer. We found that those percentages, those KPIs apply really regardless of geographic location.
Cool. Thank you, Brodie.
You bet. So kind of getting back to where we began here in terms of making water make money. What we looked at is we said there was an old world challenge, right? That everything was rested on the people, on the labor. We do a little process and not technology. Then we're going to flip that and say, let's get the technology right. Let's get the right operating system that'll drive our process and help us build the right team of people that are freed up to generate the revenue and profit that we want. That's the vision that I want you to have today. And know that the way to do that in terms of technology is through standardizing your portfolio. And you can do that by not having to sell it, but by presenting it as an investment into your relationship with your customers. And that is a fundamental key. And once you've done that and you have that technology platform, then you're going to be able to drive your inspections, your proposals, and as I mentioned, the proactive scheduled maintenance with life cycle analysis. When you put all of that together, that's what is ultimately going to allow you to achieve the success that we all want. And I mentioned that company at the top of our conversation here today, that was able to triple their revenue and profit. They went from 8 techs down to 6. They actually were able to redeploy a couple of technicians into their enhancement division. They were previously all paper-based inspections. We've got them to be cloud-based. They were having a lot of proposals that weren't getting approved into the hundreds, because people were just getting an invoice and they really didn't know what they were buying. They hadn't been able to budget for them appropriately. And so they've addressed those challenges. They're getting all their scheduled inspections done on a monthly basis. The number of steps from the inspection all the way to invoicing has gone from 10 down to 3. That's something I would encourage you to look at. We actually mapped this with a number of our partners, and we found that it almost looked like spaghetti, that if you follow kind of the paper and process trail from initiating that inspection to completing it, to getting it priced out, invoiced to a customer, it was quite a mess. But we've got that down to 3 for this particular customer. Again, they were not getting all their inspections done monthly. And I want to encourage everyone, don't look at inspections as a burden or a cost. In fact, you should look at inspections as almost like an ATM. They're a way to make money. I haven't found a perfect irrigation system yet. So if you can do as this company did and get those inspections done monthly, in season, obviously, not in the dead of winter, but in season, get them done monthly. And to be able to get those done on time is a real game changer. But if you're using the mobile technology with the inspection, the mobile app, you're getting your proposals done at the same time. That's happening in the background as everything's loaded in there. That's really how you're able to do that effectively and ultimately be able to achieve that success. And I want to talk about one final element, which is this challenge around people, specifically irrigation techs. Ask yourself, is my company a destination company? Are we a talent magnet for the type of talent that we would want? And for a lot of companies, and I'm talking top 100, top 150 companies, they found that the answer was probably not, because they had underinvested in their irrigation division, meaning that all of their controllers were offline. The people were having to walk back and forth to the controller or waste their time sitting in traffic, driving out to do simple things. And in today's world, that is not going to attract the top talent. So this particular company I have in the before and after example, they were one of those that had underinvested. And when they did invest, now within their own company and certainly within their local market, they became known as a water management leader. And so now they literally have a waiting list of technicians who want to be part of that organization. And so that is something I want you to ask yourself. Look in the mirror with all humility and say, are we that destination company? If the envision that ideal irrigation tech, and are they going to want to come be part of your organization? If the answer is no, then let's level up to be that. And I'm telling you today that a big part of that solution is providing the technology and the process, the program that you have in place, the operating system that someone with the right talent and skill says, hey, I can plug into that organization and be successful. The foundation is there. This company, your company, has made that level of investment. And so that's where you can go from a difficulty hiring people to literally a waiting list when you get everything right and you present yourself as that water management company. So look at that for a moment. Look at the before and after, because that's what we have seen be successful. And so if you want to go from making water not make money to making water make money, make those important shifts in your investments. I wanted to just mention a few companies that have done this successfully. One is Bemis. They have said that they were able to simplify and train on one platform. It's powerful, easy to use, but very smart. And that's really the difference, is if you're dealing with offline, out of warranty technology that you just inherited as a maintenance company, then you have this mishmash of everything. So this is a company that I know they have over 500 connected controllers, and they built their process and their business based around what that's able to do for them. A great follow if you are on online social media is Pacific Landscape Management. Their CEO, past an ALP president, Bob Grover. He said, we've been promoting water conservation for a decade. It's critical. It's no longer, we'd like to save water to save you money. It's, we'd like to save you water so your total water expense doesn't go up. Because in his market, water costs are going up about 10% a year. I know they are here where I am in Dallas. So he's looking at saving 10% just to keep them neutral. Their customers have a water management plan, and they propose solutions to elevating the efficiency on their job site. Sometimes that involves removing water hog types of landscape and turf, and reconfiguring the irrigation systems to be more appropriate for their environment. And so this is something that, again, is a huge enhancement opportunity. The key is that your people are focused on adding that value rather than your people being focused on just how do I, fight the fires and drive around and make adjustments to irrigation controllers. That should be automated. That should be on their mobile app. And that way they're again, adding that value. Pacific does it as well as anyone in the country there. Another company that's doing this, Silver Sand Services in Houston, Texas. They said it's made a huge difference in how they manage irrigation and change their business fundamentally. They are one that I started following about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And what we found was they were one that were good at sales and marketing. They were attempting to sell smart technology, as I said earlier, that a lot of companies have tried to do. And they found they were hitting a ceiling at about 10 or 20% of their customers would actually write the big check and say, yeah, let's make that upgrade. So what Silver Sand said is, 10 or 20% online doesn't work for us, given the cost of labor and gas. They have over 1,000 sites. And so they said, we've got to do it a different way. And so they are one of the forerunners that said, we're not selling this. We're going to make it as an investment. And in fact, they present it as a standard that when you hire them, you get their best trucks, their best people, and the technology and water management services. It's a standard. In fact, they tell people that we're not comfortable putting our name on a property where we can't use our irrigation operating system We know that landscape companies get fired because of water or weeds. And here we are as a company that if we put our name on it, we've got to be able to do the water right and to our standard. Now, that would be impossible to say if you required people to write you a big check. But when you follow that with, and we're willing to invest so that we can deliver enhanced water management services, that's something foreign to most property owners and managers, that their landscape company, landscape maintenance provider, would invest into their property. They've never heard that before. That's the distinction. When we talk about making water make money, it's not only making you money in your irrigation repairs and enhancements, but it's making you money because it wins you entire maintenance contracts, because you were the company that presented that investment that you were making in a way that none of your other competitors ever had. And so that, again, is what we've seen. A number of our partners, Silver Sands, has over 1,000 connected controllers online. They manage everything that way. And again, they built their process around that, how they do inspections, how they do repairs. And that's what's driving their profitability and allowed them to standardize in the way that they have. Wanted to also put maybe a different element that you originally thought about when we talk about making water make money. Is there is a growing movement within our society, within corporations, within HOA communities, that looks at businesses greater than what is their bottom line price. In fact, in the sustainability world, you may have heard of ESGs, environmental, social, and governance. Many corporations are in fact making their purchasing decisions, which can include their landscape maintenance provider, based on what are you doing for the greater good. And for a lot of landscape companies, we've been beat up on price. And so we think it's only about price. And so that's really all we present. How many times are we going to mow? How many color changes? This type of thing. But I want to tell you that just from my experience, I deal with a lot of Fortune 500s. I've dealt with Associate for Service Residential, a lot of the major HOA providers. They have been especially drawn to the social cause around water. And so when we talk about irrigation, let's not lose sight of the fact that water is fundamental to life. It is not only our fastest growing utility expense, but it's also one that is the most wasted. And for most properties, the majority of their water is used in the outdoors. And when you take those fundamentals and you combine it with the global water crisis, that there's people on our earth that don't even have fresh water to drink, it really gets your mind right around how important it is that we use what is often fresh drinking water on the properties that we're managing. And so I know for our business, when we had that epiphany, that awakening that said, you know what, we as a water management company, and I'm speaking of Weathermatic, a technology and equipment provider, but I'm also speaking of our partners who are landscape maintenance professionals. You are part of sustainability. You are part of the overall movement for cleaner water. And so what we want to do is help you make an impact there. And so that's why we developed Save Water, Give Life, where you can literally share the savings from your irrigation sustainability, your water management program, in such a way that people are impacted. And I will tell you from experience that when you share that with your customer, imagine going to an HOA and saying, hey, we're not only going to save water and money for your community or for your commercial property, we're actually going to share that savings with people in need. The way that we form this for our partners is for every control system they upgrade, they're able to give a person a lifetime supply of clean water. And that's through the drilling of clean water wells. We do that through the Weathermatic Foundation. But whether it's through our program, through the Weathermatic Foundation, or another type of water charity, I want to encourage you to encompass the greater good, the bigger picture around water, and make that part of who you are, of your identity as a water management company, is you're one that not only manages water, but you give water, clean water that is in extreme need in our world. There's over 500 million people that don't have fresh, clean drinking water. And that's something that we can make an impact in. I've been a part of many trips to Central America. We have seen, again, major Fortune 500 companies join us in those. They are anxious to see the impact of their savings when they invest in technology. Now, as you as a landscape professional invest in upgrading technology, you're going to give and help others. And so think about that, how not only do you make water make money, but that you save water and give life, because that is one of the most impactful things that we can do together. And so that bigger picture, I don't know about you, but is inspiring to me. I always say it's the most impactful thing we do is when we look at why do we make money, and when we do that to help others, there's not a better way to get that done. It's a picture of me there in the center of that photo in Guatemala, actually, a school there, 180 children were there. We dug several hundred feet deep and were able to bring clean water to that entire community. So again, think about, as we make water make money, how do we help impact other people's lives? Because water uniquely gives us that opportunity in a way that a lot of other elements of our business do not. If anything I've said today has struck a chord with you, or you're thinking about, you know what, there's some pieces that we'd like to put in place to make water make money, I'm here to be a resource for you, here to help you. On the screen is my email address, as well as my cell phone number. Information about our company is on our website, as well as our YouTube channel. Just search Weathermatic TV. We have a number of resources for those of you who are looking to take water and again, make it that second enhancement division, add value, invest in in your customers, and see the benefits of that through improved retention and in your landscape maintenance contracts, and through winning the contracts that you want to win. That's what we want to help you do ultimately, and it's what drives our business. That is what we do. It's our only business, but we'd love to help you do that and can direct you in the right ways. I'm actually on the NALP sustainability group, and we're developing a water management best practices, and that'll be something that we really want to help get out there within the industry, so that when the broader world looks at our what our industry does as a green industry, that they don't view us as a net negative, that we're consuming resources, but rather that we are wise stewards of resources. And so that's what the NALP needs to do. But that starts with each one of you. It starts with your business and the face that you put in front of your customers. And so we want to help you do that for sure. So we're right at about time. Want to pause here for questions. I know Robert had one that came in earlier, but would like to have plenty of time for any questions that you might have. And again, thank you for your time today, whether you're listening live or the recording here online. Robert, anything that anything that came in over the chat?
Yeah, a couple things here. Again, Joe, thanks for jumping in with your questions. Joe's asking, what's the most successful structure, whether you've seen working companies, whether the technicians report to a central water manager or as opposed to account managers? What have you seen the most success?
Yeah, I've seen both be successful. So I'm not coming to you today and say there is one way to do it. When we encounter a new partner, we generally will start with, what are you doing today? And evaluate what's working and what's not. It's very common, those two options that you thought about, where the irrigation tech reports in through an account manager. Sometimes we see the irrigation techs are folded up into the operation or maintenance leader. What we see is that as companies grow, as they make water management a formal, recognized, valued part of their organization, they will commonly elevate the leader of that group. There's some of them are having a director of water management, a vice president of water management. Notice I'm saying water management, not just irrigation. It's a broader piece. We generally, in contracts that we help our partners update, we take the irrigation section, we turn that into a water management section that includes irrigation, but it also talks about how the water is monitored and managed. But all that being said, the ideal scenario is where you do have a leader that is a water management leader, and that the irrigation technicians are trained and supported, coached and developed by that leader who is a subject matter expert in irrigation. You can't be all things to all people, right? You can't be a jack of all trades. So where you can invest and have your organization be of scale such that you can have that dedicated irrigation division with a divisional leader. That is, I've seen that work consistently. But I also realized that the typical company that we first encounter, even larger ones, and I'm commonly talking about 10, 20, $30 million landscape maintenance companies, a lot of them do not have an irrigation leader. And a lot of them say, hey, I'd love to have it, but I just, we don't have that talent internally. We're having trouble recruiting it. And some of them have actually gone to dedicated search firms to find that right talent, because it is very hard to find. But even with that being the case, do not feel like you have to first hire that leader to be a water management company, because we have plenty of companies that haven't, and they have been able to develop the talent within and have a corporate vision around water that's worked quite well. And so you can do that. But what I would tell you is, as you grow, as you become successful and you become that destination company, you'll be able to get that right person. You're gonna have to be intentional about it. You're gonna have to look. But I would love to see more landscape maintenance companies have water management leaders internally. But don't wait for that to start now, and then suddenly that person will come around because they're like, okay, this is a company that gets it around water management. Then you'll get the right person.
Cool.
Great question though. Is the people element is certainly fundamental, but go back to what I said earlier. Start with the technology. Get the technology right. Build the right process. You've got to do that anyway. You need to have the right processes, and then understand the people. I just talked about a water management leader. Don't forget also about the opportunity to have junior techs. A lot of the strain around people in the irrigation part of the world has been that we think that an irrigation tech has to be capable of repairing a 2-inch main line or something significant. And ideally you do have those senior techs, but a lot of times just doing the monthly inspections, that can be achieved by someone. I've seen literally some of our partners take young people right out of school. And those people, by the way, are very good at technology. They were born with an iPad in their hand. And within a matter of weeks, where they're shadowing a more senior technician, they can be set out on their own, not years, weeks. They can be out there inspecting your systems for you and maybe doing simple repairs, nozzles, stuff like that. But they're identifying the issues that now your senior techs are going to be able to come in and do the heavy duty repair work. And so when we think about our KPIs for your senior level techs, you really want them to be doing repairs nonstop. That's your billable. That's the engine. That's the make water, make money, is keep those experienced, talented irrigators doing repairs, not driving around, not just doing simple walking around inspections. Get a junior tech for that. You can those you can develop within and hire that in. There's a lot of young people new to the industry that would love to be able to be outside with an iPad, technology they love, but again, be outside. And so think about that. Have a set of junior techs and then your senior techs and get them billable constantly. And then ideally, you've got a leader of that whole group, right? And so that's some fundamentals of how to kind of structure the organization. Robert, anything else that has come through?
Got a question here. A lot of companies are always looking to stay ahead of competition, trying to find that, what's that differentiator to other competitors in the marketplace. I mean, is this program you're talking about a true differentiator? If you really get this dialed in and put some focus on it,
I mentioned earlier that the idea of selling technology to a property group that's kind of maybe thinking, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what we say here in the South. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for them, it ain't broke, meaning that they're not the ones, the property owner, your customer is not the one that has to drive out there and make adjustments and repairs and deals with that old technology. So if your company will step up and you will make that investment, then you're in that position now where you're able to free up your people's time and effort to truly add value. And when you present it as an investment, that's going to help you retain and win customers in a way that I talk to so many property management companies, big ones, CBRE, JLL, Cushman & Wakefield. They're like, how do I even choose a landscape maintenance company? I get these bids. They're all nice people. And they say they have good service, and maybe they do, maybe they don't, but it all looks the same. And when all else is the same, price becomes the issue. So when you can be that company that is above the fray, above the reverse auction on price, and you're the one that presents the investment, it is the game changer. And more landscape companies who have been focused on landscape, the green stuff, when they broaden their perspective and say, hey, we're outdoor solution providers. We are experts in the plant, water, soil relationship, because it takes all three. We got to know our plants, we got to know our water, we got to know our soil. And when we put all that together, that's what gets the healthiest, most beautiful, most resilient landscape. And so for companies that are doing that and communicating it that way, they are in fact very different than the drive-by bidders that are just slinging maintenance contracts out and hoping something sticks. That's what you got to get out of. You've got to add value, but you've got to communicate it in a way that shows your expertise. And in your reviews with your customers, whether it's renewals annually or quarterly reviews, monthly reviews, whatever you do, make water a topic in that. Show them that you're actually managing the water. Review those inspection reports, like I showed earlier, that have the pictures of what you found on their sites, that show that you're tracking and monitoring the reporting. Those are all fundamentals that will ultimately be the distinguishing element that makes you sticky to your account and gets the retention rate where you want it to be. Most of our partners are exceeding 90% level of retention, and water can be a real driver for that.
Cool. Thank you, Brodie. Just one final thing, Brodie, and I'm going to get you to move this slide on. One, just in terms of the next, if people want to find out more about it, here's obviously they can contact you directly. Assume you'll be able to just chat them through the program, see what the next steps are.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love to, if you're a landscape business that's saying, hey, we haven't done water quite right, or we could certainly do it better. That's our business. That's what we do is help companies do that. We have a formal partner program We have partner advisors, technical advisors, marketing group that customizes the rollout, gets the documentation right. But it's almost like getting a water management franchise when companies partner with us, because we bring that full package. Again, not one that I'll take all the credit for. Top 200 companies in the industry have helped develop it. And yeah, if you want to take water seriously and be intentional, I'm very confident that we can help you with that.
Cool. Thank you, Brodie. And then I think there should be one last slide on our next event. Brodie, you timed this up, teed this up nicely. Destination companies. I mean, it's great to attract talent into your company, but then how do we keep that talent there? So our next webinar is August 23rd, 1 p.m. Eastern. We've got Byron McFarland. He's going to be talking about equity-based compensation packages. It's something that's typically comes up a lot of the peer group meetings. So we will send out more information about that. But Brodie, really appreciate your time, your knowledge today. Always nice to generate another profit center. I've seen that work well with multiple different companies. So nice job out there. And again, thank you again for presenting, Brodie.
Thank you for the opportunity, Robert, and really want to encourage everybody to that untapped opportunity in water. Let's go have some fun and make an impact in your business and even help save some lives at the same time.
Awesome, great. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate everybody for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you in Miami for our Thought Leaders Retreat. Thanks, everyone.
Looking forward to it.
Yep, see you there, Brodie.
Bye-bye.